Hello, I'm back. So here I am. I found some things of Donna Adelson. Sorry, it's been a long time. I had to regroup and kind of took a different direction on um, what case I was going to follow. And I decided that, excuse me, I decided that I am going to go live. Sorry, I have no makeup on today. But anyway, I decided to go live with the closing statements of the Michelle Troconis. So yeah, the closing statements of that trial that I was following. Okay, so here we go. Let me put on Donna Adelson.
Those co-defendants are placed on that same docket sounding. What is the...
This is a 2022 murder.
This is an October, I'm sorry, Mr. Campbell's case. Alleged date of offense is October 31st, 2022 as well.
I'm going to try for April 15th.
I think it was. Also has a regard case, Your Honor.
Yes.
Okay. I guess maybe we'll leave it on June 17th for now, and maybe something happens with the other one, and we're able to still try it that week.
I think at most that would only be a 2-day trial. The problem is going to be 3 co-defendants, each having 12 strikes. It's going to be a long jury pick.
Right.
And there may be any number of issues with a 3-way defendant trial.
Right.
I'll put it that way.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I also saw that Chedrick Thomas's VOPs are set somehow on our docket sounding this Thursday. Could we set his VOPs for that same docket sounding for the June 17th trial week? Take them off this Thursday's docket.
That's fine.
Thank you. That would be for the clerk 20 CF 3130. 3130. Thank you.
Ms. Adelson, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Judge.
All right. Good afternoon. Let's go ahead and address next State versus Donna Adelson, 2023, CF 3226.
Judge Alex Morris and Dan Rashbaum on behalf of Ms. Adelson. We're ready to ask the court for a trial date.
All right, Ms. Dugan, you can make your appearance.
This is Sarah Catherine Dugan for the state. We've discussed September trial date with the defense, and I think we all agree to those dates. And have kind of looked at the calendar for that time, looked at the court's trial weeks and a possible 5th week at the end of the week, and I think we're all flexible as to what will work for the court that month, which may work for us.
Right, defense.
She got it right. Whichever week. Looking at your calendar, that last week of September the 5th week and then spilling over into a natural trial week seemed appealing, but I don't know what your schedule allows for.
Right, well, this is somewhat difficult to say. Judge Allman still is in the process.
This is our wonderful priest, Father Brown.
There's been a murder.
We will get to the bottom of this, I assure you. I know who to talk to.
I knew I could rely on you, Father.
This is determining who's going to be in that division.
Hello, whoever just
Stay
popped in.
with me, but if I'm
Donna
otherwise in civil
Adelson
division or doing something else,
is
probably
back.
becomes a little bit easier and more flexible to schedule the trial.
So here we
For
are.
now, let's operate as
We're
if
gonna set a
that is
trial
the
for Donna
emergency.
Adelson.
We'll put it on September. September 26th is the docket sounding you'd be asking for.
September 26th. It'll be
That's
on
the
our
one
docket.
before the 5th week.
Which is fine, Judge, yes.
Ms. Dugan,
That'll be fine. We'd be fine.
Here,
with
we just
the
popped in.
September
Thank
12th
you for joining me.
docket sounding or the 26th.
actually, let's go ahead and put it on the 9/12 docket sounding. The idea being that the start of jury selection would be during that 5th week. But that should give us some time if there's anything.
So it looks like we're going to have
ahead
a
of time
Donna
to deal with
Adelson
before that trial
trial.
starts. I am going to end up, now that we have a date picked for 9/12 being the docket sounding and the week of trial starting September 30th, probably going to end up entering a separate order that deals with a motion.
So now they're going to call this
schedule
one the
trial.
in-law
So
murder
that way
case.
we're not dealing with these issues up to the wire. However, cases have a mind of their own. The cutoff date will be in place. However, if we need to address it any further from there, we will. One matter that I did want to make sure we had a clear record on, has any plea offer been extended to the defense?
No, sir.
Does the state intend to give a plea offer?
Not that I know of, but if something changes, we'll let them know.
Very well. Has your client wanted to convey any offers to the state?
None.
And again, everyone knows me well. There's not going to be any prodding or pushing about plea offers or state you making one. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, if Ms. Adelson is to make a knowing, intelligent, and voluntary decision about going to trial, that includes whether or not there is any plea offer to reject or accept. If the state is going to make a plea offer, please notify the defense promptly. From there, if the defendant intends to reject it, she will do so. Are there any other matters that we need to address for today?
That's it, Judge.
None from the state.
Very well. Ms. Adelson, the next time we have a status date, you will be in the Zoom booth so you can see and hear what's going on, similar to today. Before we get to September, do you all wish to set a status in the summer?
Please.
Right, before July or after?
I'm going to ask for one in June preferably, and then take another look at one in August or September.
Okay. Then we'll go ahead and have a status hearing during my business week of July 22nd. We'll go ahead and put it at 1:30 in the afternoon. At that point, the order as to discovery cutoff, motion cutoff, and other pretrial matters that will already be in place, everyone will have your guidelines to operate from. There's nothing else to address from here. Ms. Adelson, that is going to conclude your case management hearing. Your attorneys will be in touch with you. Have a good afternoon.
Okay, so it looks like we're going to have a trial this year.
For everyone on Zoom, that concludes the hearing.
All right, and then
I'm
there's
going
something
to be
else
logging
that's
out.
interesting that I would like to watch. Okay. All right. Stop the camera. I have no makeup on, but you can look at my face here. All right. So, okay, now I am going to share another one. Don't go away. I have more. This is also interesting with this trial. Donna Adelson decided that it was a good idea to hire her son's lawyer. Yeah, I can't make that up.
Adelson hearing we go now. Let's watch.
Yes, so here we go now.
Good morning, Ms. Adelson. Are you capable of hearing me?
Yes, I am.
All right. In the courtroom with me this morning is your counsel and also counsel
I
for the
believe
state.
it's a bad idea.
I'm just going to ask at this time for all non-parties to this hearing not to speak or interfere with the business of the court. I'll allow the attorneys to make their appearances at this time.
Sarah Catherine Dugan for the state.
Good morning, Dan Rashbaum on behalf of Mrs. Adelson.
I'll allow both parties to provide any update that they wish, but I did have some matters that I wanted to raise also during this hearing today. Ms. Dugan, concerning discovery that's been turned over to the defense, are there any new or additional matters that have yet not been turned over at this point?
Not that I know of. I know that Mr. Rashbaum had an issue receiving something via OneDrive and was going to get a copy of the hard drive today from her office, so it's ongoing.
Case, Donna.
Mr. Rauschbaum, with regard to your review of this discovery, obviously you need to get everything the state needs to turn over, but is your review as such where we're going to need another case management in the next few months, or do you think we're in a position to start talking trial dates?
Judge, I think we'd ask for a case management sooner, maybe in 3 weeks. I think we'll have a better idea then. The state's been working diligently with us on the discovery, but I think we'll have a better idea in the next 3 weeks or so.
Okay.
Winning comes without a guarantee. Focus, discipline, and extraordinary effort.
Ms. Adelson, there is a matter that I am going to have to address with you as well concerning conflicts that would be related to your counsel in this representation. I'm going to need to swear you in and take some brief testimony from you. And from there, I'll continue with the attorneys. Please raise your right hand, ma'am.
Good evening.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
I do.
You can lower your hand. Ms. Adelson, do you understand under the Constitution you have the right to conflict-free representation?
I do.
Following with Charlie.
As it relates to your current attorney, Mr. Rauschbaum, representing you, you understand that he has certain duties as it relates to his prior representation with your son.
Yes, Your Honor.
Please, he's a life.
You understand his prior duty of confidence that he must maintain under the rules of professional responsibility in some way could affect your representation.
I do, Your Honor.
Inspires me.
And do you also understand in deciding whether or not to waive any conflict concerning this matter, you have the right to obtain independent counsel on that matter?
I do, Your Honor.
Have you been able to discuss with independent counsel whether or not you waive any conflicts as it relates to the prior representation of your son?
I have, Your Honor.
And are you in fact waiving any such conflicts?
I am, Your Honor.
There is a second issue as well as it relates to the rules of professional responsibility for attorneys. There is another prohibition within them that deals with the matter of an attorney possibly being a witness in a case. I do not know if the state would seek to call your attorney as a witness for any matter. However, you understand an attorney cannot be both advocate and witness in the same case.
I understand that, Your Honor.
Do you understand as well if the state attempted to call your attorney for any reason that could materially affect your defense?
I understand.
Do you also understand you have the right to obtain independent counsel to assist you in making the decision as to whether or not you wish to waive this conflict, or even potential of conflict, I should say?
Yes, I'm aware of that, Your Honor.
And do you waive this potential conflict as well?
I do.
Mr. Rauschbaum, do you wish there to be any further inquiry as it would pertain to Lazarley versus state?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Adelson. That will conclude all testimony that I will need from you today. Does the defense have anything that it wishes to raise this morning?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Dugan, does the state have anything that it wishes to raise?
No, sir.
Very well. So we can settle on another date for case management coming up. You were asking for 3 weeks from now, Mr. Rauschbaum?
That would be great, Your Honor, if you could accommodate. or somewhere near that.
Right. I have case management coming up again on February 12th.
Okay, and that's the one that we saw.
However, that's my normal
before,
case management day.
That's the one that we saw first.
Is this something that we're going to be able to accomplish within the normal time confines, or we're going to need a carved out date?
So it's February 12th.
Ms. Dugan?
I don't expect any issue would take more than 10 or 15 minutes, so I think a regular court day would be fine.
Very well. February 12th at 2:30 in the afternoon.
I'm going
We will
backwards.
schedule the next case management date. Ms. Adelson, once again, you will appear by Zoom, but your counsel will be in the courtroom and you will be able to hear him, obviously, in preparation for any court date. Either him or Mr. Morris can visit with you and discuss all pertinent matters. One question that I did have for the defense as well, is there going to be a waiver of speedy trial, or do we know when the 175th day is going to be if we need to start thinking about calendaring a trial?
There's not going to be a waiver yet, Your Honor. I don't know when the 175th day is, but I don't think it's going to be an issue. We're working diligently with the state to try to figure out a trial date.
Right. Ms. Dugan, do you wish to be heard as to that issue?
No, sir.
Very well. With that being said, that covers everything I believe we need to hit for today's hearing. Ms. Adelson, your counsel will be in touch with you to discuss matters before February. I will see you then. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thanks, Chair.
All right, the Honorable Stephen Everett concluding that hearing. Pretty quick one. We're going to see her again on February the 12th, but some big things coming out of this. Okay, I want to bring back in my guest attorney, Ted Spalding, to talk about this. So we've got a couple conflicts here. Conflict number one is just the fact that she's got the same lawyer that her son had at trial, Daniel Rashbaum. Now he's done representing Charlie. A different appellate attorney has Charlie's case now, but we saw the judge here going through that colloquy with her, making sure she knows what she's getting into and having this representation. She consulted independent counsel on it. So not Daniel Rashbaum, another attorney to help her make that informed decision. Ted, your thoughts on whether this is a wise decision to have that same attorney represent her?
Yeah, that's a tough question. I don't know. You would assume there's nothing there. So for the viewers, that was probably a procedural thing that you got to go through every time you have the same attorney. So you want to assume there's nothing there. Why? Because most defense attorneys, you're trained. You don't ask your client, did you do it? Did you not do it? Those sorts of things for almost this exact reason, not representing two co-defendants, if you will. So you got to assume the lawyer doesn't know anything that would either harm or help her that he learned from his prior representation that he can't speak to. But what if, right? And then you heard the second one, which is, if your lawyer becomes a witness. Now, you assume that's not going to happen. That'd be super, super rare in a criminal matter. We see it a lot in civil. I had it way back in the day in a probate case.
Did you?
Where the first attorney who wrote the will that was being contested was the attorney representing the person, and we had to conflict him out. So this does come up a lot, but more so in the civil than you do in the criminal realm, because obviously stakes are way higher. Attorneys are prepared for this type of thing. They prep their clients and those sorts of things. So assuming she got the representation separately to go through the possibilities, it's her decision to make. This is the judge making sure on the record, again, the whole point being, we don't want to have a potential conviction here that then gets overturned for a simple technicality because we didn't do something properly.
Right.
Which is get it on the record that she was given all of her rights, making sure she has properly waived any sort of conflict that could come up.
Right, so a conflict does exist, yes, but it's one that she has the power to waive on the record, as we saw done today before the court. The court is satisfied that it's a knowing, intelligent, voluntary waiver, so that she wants him. To the second point about Daniel Rashbaum potentially being a witness, I think I may know what this is about, Ted. And earlier, for any of our wonderful courties who were watching opening statements this morning, we had Joel Waldman on the show. He has a podcast, he's a journalist, and he interviewed Daniel Rashbaum on his show, Surviving the Survivor. And he asked him about one of the jail phone calls between Charlie and Donna, where it appears that they're talking about maybe plans to leave, if I remember correctly, and the name Dan keeps coming up. And Joel had said to me when I was on his show, could Rashbaum be in trouble for this? I said, well, it depends on what, if anything, he knew about any plans for her to leave. So there's an insinuation that there could be, an inquiry into whether there was any justice obstructed. And I'm certainly not saying there was any wrongdoing. We don't know what he knew. Oh, Ted, I can tell by the look on your face, like, if he did know something, this is bad, huh? And if the state calls him, this gets real ugly, doesn't it?
Yeah, it gets real ugly for him, certainly. And remember what we talked about earlier, catching what she said. It's now on video where the arresting officer is taking her phone. And she says, my attorney said you can't take my phone. Now, I assume that was a general conversation of, hey, there may be a warrant out for you at some point in the future. We have word that they're looking into it. Be careful, do this. But now you're telling me there's some other things that maybe this attorney...
Hey, all right, so here we have it. Who's ever in, I would like your input. Watching this, if you wish to do so, that'd be great. If not, well, okay. So yeah, I decided, spare the moment. I'm not camera ready, but I'm here. So, sorry, I gotta stop the camera. I rather have my face all made up. But yeah, what we're gonna do now is we're going to keep an eye on this trial, and also to be other possibilities. I'm kind of thinking about the Karen Reed trial. I think that'd be an interesting trial to also probe into. So, I think I'll just kind of hang out for a second. I would like to hear your thoughts. If you think that it's a good idea for Donna Adelson to hire the same attorney as her son's attorney, that could be some conflicts of interest. I don't know. It would be interesting to hear your thoughts. And so it looks like we are going to have a September hearing or September trial. And so we'll just keep our eye open and see what we can find out, any more information that comes along. And yeah, but anyway, thank you for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Not at all a good idea. Okay. Oh, good, Lori. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, Lorianne, I don't think that's a good idea either. I don't know. Why would you want to do that? Okay, I'm gonna show my face because it's more personal. Why would you want the attorney that was your son's attorney in the other trial? I don't know. It's going to be an interesting ride, but I am for sure going to cover this trial, and I'm going to follow it. I am very sorry that I dropped the ball on the other one, but it's just, I don't know. It wore me out. But this one, I just feel like I invested a lot of time and energy, a lot of notes. So yeah, I really appreciate you coming on. Yeah, they're just, this is just really interesting. This whole ride is with Adelson is just an interesting case. I got to get my hands on the phone call. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep in touch with everyone. I will probably I'm thinking about going on live for 2 days a week for about an hour or two and discuss the trials that we're interested in. And I'm going to think about probing into the Karen Reed trial. I think that sounds interesting. So thank you very much for listening to my impromptu, non-camera ready face. And just wanted to pop in and let you guys know that what's going on with the Donna Adelson trial. And maybe we can do a little bit of a recap, different videos we can watch together. So anyway, everyone have a good evening, and don't forget to hit that like button because it warms my heart and it gives me a great and it gives me a great feeling to know that what I'm doing here is good, even though I should already know it's good, right? Well, anyway, thank you very much, and everyone have a wonderful week, and happy Valentine's Day. And I hope to see each and one of you very soon. I will keep in touch later on this week, and let's get together again. Good night.